following the sun around the world, looking for that perfect wave. Sounds like a dream. But in 1962, 24-year-old filmmaker Bruce Brown and surfers Robert August and Mike Hynson did it, and brought home their story on 16mm film and called it The Endless Summer. It took 2 years for Bruce to make the film and all his budget. And after the first showing, no one made a sound. Bruce thought the audience hated it, and maybe that he'd made a big mistake.
There was about a 15-second delay, and I had a heart attack. Oh no, all this work. And then everybody started standing up and clapping and cheering, and the people disliked it.
Most people liked it. New York distributors told him it wouldn't attract an audience, other than surfers, and they don't count. So to prove them wrong, Bruce went to show his film as far away from the ocean as he could get.
So we rented a theater in Wichita in the middle of the winter, purposely picked the middle of the winter in Wichita because it was like the least likely place. The thing showed for 2 weeks and broke the theater record that was held by My Fair Lady.
That still didn't prove anything to the New York big shots, so Bruce went for broke. He blew his film up to 35mm, went to New York and rented another theater, right smack in the middle of the Big Apple.
It was a big deal in New York. It was like a happening. Here's these idiots from California, and they're, renting a theater and showing their movie.
And they showed it to packed houses for 1 year straight. Finally, distributors did call, and a deal was reached that put The Endless Summer in theaters around the world. But not before Bruce played a little hardball and a few games of his own with the big shots.
We'd pick out guys that tell us, well, this is the fanciest hotel in New York, and we'd say we're staying there. And then we'd stand out in front, they send the limo.
Endless Summer had, and still has, a magic about it that attracts people. Maybe it's the exotic, faraway places that up until 30 years ago had never been captured on film, or the adventure and mystique of finding waves never ridden. Whatever it is, it's made millions of dollars and influenced a lot of lives, not just surfers, but filmmakers and travelers as well. Now, 30 years later, where are these guys that took us around the world? Mike Hynson found life isn't as perfect as the waves he rode at Cape St. Francis and is having some trouble with it. Robert August owns a successful surfboard shop and is shaping surfboards. And Bruce, he rides Robert's boards, still living that endless summer. Tim Flannery, News 8. The Endless Summer was a film that made Bruce Brown famous. In it, he took filmmaking where it had never been before and introduced surfers and surfing to a world that only knew what Hollywood portrayed in their bongo beach party movies. In fact, that's the reason Bruce made surf movies to begin with, to show people what surfers are really all about, not to get famous.
But surfing and living at the beach and all, it was way more important to me than, than making movies. I mean, I took the movie thing seriously and worked hard at it, but if somebody said, well, if you want to have this movie career, you're going to move to L.A., there's no way. I'd rather have been a milkman in Dana Point. They aren't into the dry flies at the moment.
Bruce still lives at the beach. He's tucked away on the Central Coast, far away from the maddening crowds that took over the beaches he knew so well. And he has his favorite things all around him.
Bring him in the boat, bring him in the boat. Look at that rainbow.
In his pond, he's got plenty of fish. And crawdads that he steams up for dinner. His closest neighbors are swallows who stop by for a drink, and red-tailed hawks that soar on the wind above. On his walls are pictures of the places he's been through the years, and pictures of some of his old friends who've been in some of his old films.
Go back and cue that thing up.
And old films are what's keeping him busy.
Donald Takayama on the first wave at Belfast.
Bruce made 6 other surf films before The Endless Summer, and because there's a demand for that footage, he's been busy the last year with his oldest son, Dana, putting them together in a video collection.
Some of this music was missing, or the narration was missing, or whatnot, so we used everything we could that was authentic.
Like Blue Monday, when they have to do the wash.
When something is missing, Bruce has to make it sound like the old stuff, a style he laughs about today, a style he put on these films back in 1959.
It loses something if you don't make, if you try not to make it stupid. So we're just leaving it alone, and hopefully nobody will know it's was redone. It's almost identical to what it was.
Bruce is almost identical to the way he was when he first started making films. He says he's the happiest when his life's the simplest. And when he's finished with the old films, he's going back to his endless summer lifestyle. Other than that, his plans for the future?
Die. Before that, I don't know. I mean, same as everybody else.